question marks fly. He sits with a gaze and meets the sky, wearing the weight of wisdom's crown. Listens to beats that never drown. With a cap that holds the unknown, in the spotlight, yet alone. A silent voice, a humble king. In his picture, let the story sing.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Wild Podcast. This special edition is brought to you by J Big, the shark of Wall Street.
I like that, the shark of Wall Street.
The shark of Wall Street. So, welcome back to the platform, man. So, the last one that me and you had, I know J Big was not even. We were both. I called him early in the morning. It's 24 hours over there, so it's like right now it's morning time out there where the Oos is at. We're not going to say where you're at, man, just for your own, just want to keep you protected. And for myself, because if people want to know more about J Big, you're going to subscribe to our Patreon, which will be coming to you to be determined whenever that happens. But, Uso, did you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
First
sir.
of all, I want to talk about our, what was your take off of the episode that I put out there? Because I know you were surprised. Did you even get a chance to even watch it? You know what I'm saying? Or just for the sake of transparency.
Pretty good. I see like you're trying to record a lot of stuff to so that way we can go back and talk about it and how to help our coconut heads, right?
For real, man. For those that are just tuning into the Wild Podcast, our podcast is a platform that showcases our Polynesian people and also entrepreneurs, small business owners, content creators, and just regular people like myself and J Bid who just want to share information of stuff that we learned. Because a lot of times, especially in this kind of topic that we are going to discuss on this, which has a lot to do with financial literacy, mainly based off of stocks, right? And shares and stuff like that. What's crazy though, bro? Not a lot of people was really informed about it. Everybody knows you could make money off of it, but I think it's just that thing of the unknown, not knowing, and not willing because of whatever the lifestyle is, have the time to really dig deep like you have, and took the time out to really understand how to make a profit in this world of investment into stocks. So I believe that you were the last episode that we were on, you were introducing and teaching me how to use the application of Robinhood, which we started investing into ETFs, right? ETFs.
Yes. ETFs.
And what is an ETF? What does it stand for?
Exchange traded fund.
Okay. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to go with. We're just going to kind of navigate with this one right here, this show. I'm going to show you where we left off from that last episode. So you're going to see, I'll be posting it on the screen in a little bit, my account, and then my little chart that I have that me and J Bid has been talking about.
There you go.
Yeah, bro. So we're diving right to it, Oos. I mean, like, it was crazy because not only that, we started with whatever that day was that we started helping me do it.
Yeah.
Probably 2-3 days later, man, I profit. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even like a 10-15%, bro. That was, how many percentage was that, man? That was a lot for like a $10 investment.
I believe it was was it at 5%?
5%?
5 or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, I believe it was like 5% for you, right?
I don't know
like
what it
how many
was, bro,
shares you
but
bought?
I mean, I'm more amazed at the fact that even just a profit within less than a week, that's unheard of.
Yeah, as we always talk about these things, is like a lot of us, or I can see a lot of people that they're not well informed about the stock market. But I get it. This is how the elites play the game. They don't want any of us to understand how this game is being played, and so they teach other stuff instead of learning about how money works for us. So that's why it's require a lot of time, and you got to study YouTube, ChatGPT, how to go about it. What is ETF? Okay, what is a dividend? a stock, okay. But the main thing is you have to invest long term. If you don't need this money right now, you just invest in an ETF and then hold it there forever and don't sell it and then collect the dividend. So that's the simplest way to put an ETF investing is.
As y'all can see, go ahead and explain everything right here, brother, what we're looking at.
Top right, you see stocks. That's what you have. Yeah, you have 7 shares, 7.64 Alti
Mm-hmm.
ETF. So that one average 80 cents a month. So as long as you have share sitting in that ETF, you'll get paid 80 cents at least, average.
Can you explain it to
Uh-huh.
myself? Look at us as an audience. Break down this. On the right-hand side, it says the stocks of the screen. So these are the
Right.
two shares that I purchased. The first one on top is
Right.
the one that I initiated from the previous episode that I will post somewhere below the link. So can you break
Okay.
down real quick what is all this UTL of an actual company? This is the share that I have. So does that mean I have or how many shares do I have?
Yeah,
That's it.
7 shares and a little bit over half. And you
Big.
bought it.
I bought it at $9, and there was because I remember I purchased two of them. I put in a whole amount of $27, so that's why there's that extra 64
I see.
64, guys. I just want to let the viewers know because following week I went ahead and purchased, I believe, 2 or 3 more shares. That's why it's at 7. Because initially it was at 2.64 because I purchased it at $27 audience. I just want to educate the audience. It was, and like Jay Bid said, at that time it was at $9 and change, which I could pull up right here on my boom. You see that right there, bro?
Oh, look at you, bro.
Yeah, you know what
You
I'm
got your
saying?
spreadsheet now?
Yeah, man,
Hmm.
educating the viewers.
That's awesome, bro.
Okay, here we go. So, like I was telling you guys, ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to this one, just where the mouse is at. The ULTY. That's how many stocks that I got at that moment, which was going for $10.20. Well, at the time, it was $9.43. I got
Right.
and again, like I said before, it was at 27 is what I put in. So no, I'm sorry, J Bid. It was actually $10.23 is when it was where it was at when I initially talked to you, which then
Okay.
put me down to 2 shares. Point, you see, guys, that 6398. That's almost a whole thing of to make it 3 shares. Just that way the
Right.
audience understand. Again, I paid $27. The stock at the time was $10.23, and this is how much I gained within 2 to 3 days. You guys that are following us, you can see me post that on TikTok and Instagram, the little profit that I got off of that. That's what you guys are looking at. Then later on that day, as you guys can see right here on the 12th, so we got that on the 9th. 3 days or 4 days later, talked to J Bid, and the stocks went down, which J Bid will talk about the important and the best way to purchase is when the stocks drop. He will cover that.
Right.
So again, it's the ULTY, and I ended up buying 5 shares because I seen that I gained $1.87 off of just 2.5 or whatever this 6398 means. Almost 3 shares. I profit $1.87. It was mind blowing to me. Why? Because you don't see a profit just blow out like that within less than a week. You know what I'm saying? So you do the math, and we're just talking about dollars here. We're not talking about $100, $10,000, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to cover that part. Jay Bid, back to you, bro.
So ETFs, they pay monthly dividends. What are they? Those are ETFs that are created by funds, hedge funds. And what they do is when people put their money to invest in them, so they sell options on top of it. They're options traders. So that's what, like we've been talking about, that's what I do too for the last several years, option trading. And the thing is, they pay a lot more than usual. If you look at the regular ETFs, like traditional one, like let's for example, SPY, right, that tracks the S&P 500, they usually pay dividend quarterly, like 3 months in. Then you get paid like I believe it's like almost $2 a share. So that one tracks the S&P 500. So if you want to do the traditional investing, you can just buy the ETF and keep buying it every week or a month, and then it will appreciate over time. And then that one average annually 10%, 10 to 12% compound interest. This is a typical ETF. So you buy and hold, forever, and it'll appreciate. It'll continue to go up at least like 10% a year average. So for those who want to invest, this is the safest one to invest in. because 10 years from now, your money will appreciate. But the one that we're talking about, like OT, they're for option trading, like, ETFs. So you get paid monthly and you get paid a lot more than those ETFs. But you have to see this as an income portfolio. Like, I'm not here to see those ETF like appreciate. I'm here to get paid like monthly or weekly. For example, Alti, right? Can you go to that website, yieldmax.com? So they're the one who pioneered these option ETFs. They have so many of them. And all you have to do is just buy and hold, and it will pay you like monthly. And they even have other ETFs pays you weekly. So that's the one. So if you click on our ETFs, yeah, Yomex cover call ETFs, you can scroll all the way up. Those are all the ETFs you can buy and hold. They have one for Apple. They have one for NVIDIA. That's the safest one to me. They have Coney, Netflix. So these are the ETFs that tracks the underlying of each company. And I want you to click on Alti.
So can you explain real quick what do these all mean right here when they're looking at for the audience?
Alti is an ETF created by this fund, right? And it yields, I think, you see the 100%? That's it yield 100%, I believe it's last month or since inception, since it was created. Basically, it's a really good return. So I want you to click on it and see what it will shows.
What is this company anyways?
Yeah, Mac, it's a fund. It's like a hedge fund. They create all these ETFs and they put in the stock market so people can buy them and invest in it while they do the trading, and they'll pay you monthly.
You mentioned that on a previous episode. It's like you ask people, "Hey, let me borrow your money here, and I'll give it back to you at the end of the week."
Right. Remember we talked about it, I know previously. I can trade options, right? I can, show you. It's very complex. But instead of you paying me to trade options, these fund created ETFs. All you have to do is just buy it, like how you did. Just buy LT and just leave it there, and it will pay you monthly. So next month you'll get paid again. So if you go down to distribution details, you see all those distribution per share and the date of declaration and the payable date. So that was just recently, right? 12/13. That's when they pay you 70 cents per share. And then the previous month, November 15, it paid 83 cents. So every month it pays you like
Yeah,
at
you
least
don't lose
average.
nothing. You actually
No.
you're not losing anything.
Well, there's risk to everything. It doesn't matter like investing stock market, you can invest in a business or like, real estate, there is a risk to everything. But the good thing about these ETFs, you just buy and hold them, buy, I don't know, like $10 a week and just hold them. And then every month you'll get paid. That's the key. So what people do now is because these are new, it just came out like 2 years ago.
Also, I don't care what people do. I brought you
Uh-huh.
on because you're JBid. I want to know what JBid does because I want to be able to do what get paid like JBid's getting paid. What does JBid do?
Well, I just buy them when they dip. So when it goes down, I buy them more. But the thing is, I need to stack them. So like, for example,
Explain what stacking
you
is.
just stack buying. Like every week, I try to buy, at least a couple shares or 100 shares or 200 shares, 500 shares if I have the fund. So that's what I meant. If I have extra cash, I just throw it in there. Or if you make extra money from work, you just buy them. You continue to buy
So
them.
stack buying, the strategy involves buying shares in increments over time rather than
Right,
purchasing it all at once. The goal is to
right.
average out the cost of an investment, known as dollar cost averaging, and reduce the
That's it.
impact of market volatility. How you pronounce that
These
word? Volatility?
volatility.
Volatility. Here's an example. When you're buying a set amount of shares every week or month, regardless of the price, gradually building a stack of shares over time, the advantage is it reduces the risk of investing a large sum of wrong time at the wrong time, what JB is referring to, when the prices are high, the stocks are high. It helps maintain discipline in investing regularly.
Yeah, so DCA, that's the word I used in our previous our episode, dollar cost average, stack buying basically. You just buy it every week, buy it every month, as long as you keep buying. So your average goes down or depending where the stock will go. So like for example, this ETF, you can buy it every week or monthly. As long as you don't sell it, you will continue to get paid every month. And that's what we want to do, right? Make money work for us. So,
True,
like for
brother.
example, so this one I have 1,500 shares. So 1,500 shares times 70 is like 1,050, $1,000.50. I think that's a great profit, right?
Oh yeah. Anything above any profit is a great profit to the YOs.
So if you have 1,000 shares, so you'll get average $1,000. I mean, 1,500 shares, you will average $1,000 a month. And as long as you stack buying or dollar cost average, you continue to increase your dividend payment.
It's basically right here is what you said. Imagine you invest $100 per month in a stock. You see the example right there?
The stock at $10, you buy 10 shares. Stock price is 20, you buy 5 shares. So dollar cost average, yeah. So in 3 months, it averages out, yeah.
Oh, so the lower the cost, that's the better time to buy more shares.
Right,
But it's still important. That's why you were teaching me, like, bro, just get one. And I was trying in my head when we were talking about the one that I just purchased. I'm like, oh, I want to buy more. You're like, no, 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 just get one right now. It's gonna drop lower because you already knew
right.
that
That's right.
you can get it for a lower cost.
Right. So the market goes up and down. Everybody, is aware of that. So sometimes it goes way up. I mean, you can buy some shares, but wait till it goes back down. When it dips, that's when you buy, and you buy a lot more.
And
So
right there.
what you want to do, yeah, dollar cost average. So over time, your average, and the more you buy in a lower price, it brings down your average. So for example, 2 weeks ago, you bought the OT at $10, right?
Hmm.
And then it dipped down like $8 a month from now. Then you buy like at least like 500 shares. So your average will be like $8 something instead of $10. Yeah. So just stack buying dollar cost average of like, let's use OT. And you can just invest in that one and leave it alone, right? But if you want to do what I do, like I make it like a weekly payment. So I have OT, Misty, MSTY, TSLY. That's the one that tracks Tesla and Biddy. So if you buy those four, you will get paid every week. But let's go back to your share screen. Go back to MSTY. Let me show you something funny, interesting. MSTY. This is the best paying ETFs. So look at the look at the distribution per share.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
Yeah. Here's a good thing to look at the chart, right?
Hmm.
One thing you want to keep an eye is go click on 1 year. See that chart? Yeah, one of those. So the good thing about this is when you want to look at it, you notice it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. So you want to see if it goes down, then that's when you try to buy more, stack buying it. If it
Mm.
goes up, you can buy shares too. You can still buy, but try not to buy a lot more, but wait till when it dips and you buy more of it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see me highlighted for those that are tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify through video, you see where the arrow's at. In February, that was the best time to purchase it because it was at
Right,
$20.38. It went up, but around right here, JBIT that's what he's referring to. That was the best time to buy at March 5th. All these dips, March 19th,
it went way up,
April 5th,
34.
and drops down. And this is the best time right now. And because we're in the
This is
month
the best.
of
Exactly.
December, I got it for, I think I did it mine's in December. So I got mine's on the 12th I got it around this time, the 12th. I got mine for 36, but damn it, I should have waited because I would have got it for $28.66. But you know what? It's part of the game. I learn and
Right.
now I understand.
So the thing about these ETFs, every Friday is the best time to buy. So
Mhm.
like for example,
That's good.
next
That's good
week,
to know.
is Tesla, TSLY, ETF ticker TSLY, will pay out, people for it. So what you want to do is wait till next Friday. That's when you buy because it's going to dip. Every time they pay you, it will dip.
Okay. I love how
Yeah.
Jay Biz didn't educate me on this. Is just wait on Friday to buy shares, guys. But you know what? You're lucky for those that are tuning in when to purchase the shares on Fridays in America, Eastern time. Now, what time does it,
I
what
mean,
time does the market close? Have you figured that part out? The
for your
deadline
time,
for the deadline, yeah, for East Coast time. The market opens at what time and what time does it close?
9:30 to 4, 9:30 to 4 Eastern time
And can you break
for
it down to
California.
us? What's the whole purpose? Why does it close and stuff like that?
Uh, I think that's how they set up the stock market. They ring the bell in
Anyways,
New
ladies
York.
and gentlemen, if you want to know about that, Google it or find somebody else,
Google it. Yeah.
or just comment down below the link to let us know on the next episode. JB will go ahead and break it down, or Us himself can go ahead and do the research and share that with you guys because we just moving forward.
Uh, I encourage everybody to invest though, because this is I call it, like I always say, the elites game, right?
Hey, bro,
And one way
you
is,
ain't even gotta encourage the Us audience. They are in tune, bro. We just want to know what's the next step.
Want to see your designs come to life? Printful makes it easy. They launched their own merch line. And you can too. Printful is your one-stop shop. Use simple design tools to bring your vision to life. No need for inventory or upfront costs. Just create, and we'll handle the rest. Watch your designs get printed and shipped. From tees to totes, we've got you covered. Printful manages everything, so you can focus on growing your brand. Imagine your own custom merch in the hands of your fans. It's possible with Printful. Ready to start? Sign up, launch your journey today.
Let's talk about the whole thing that the reason why you had Us go ahead and get two different stocks. Break that down for us, Uso.
because I'm setting you up so you can get paid weekly.
Let's talk about
You
that.
know,
Let's get right
instead,
to it, Us.
yeah. So, like for example, Alti already got paid you, so you got in Misty too late. So it should have paid you a little bit. Should have paid you last week. The next level, also, once you reach your value account $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll start to play the elites game, borrowing money, margin.
Okay. Talk about it. Share us about that, like the whole strategy, why, the
All
whole
right.
philosophy around it, and what's your insight of why
All
it.
right. Well, let me talk a little bit about this. Everybody knows I'm bullish on Bitcoin, right? I haven't sold my Bitcoin. And you heard Donald Trump famous phrase. He said, "Don't sell your Bitcoin." So just remember, don't sell your asset. Whatever you do, don't sell your asset. You own the asset, right? Your house.
Yes.
Here's the reason why. Here's the reason. I want to show you this video. This is the most important video I saw. It like then it clicked on me. Everything just clicked. Like, okay, this is how they do it. That one. Very perfect.
Some of the very richest Americans pay little in taxes compared with how fast their fortunes grow each year. How? They use a tax strategy known as buy, borrow, die. It's like the ultra wealthy are living on another planet. Average people need income to pay for basics like housing and food. But the ultra wealthy don't. They can just live on borrowed cash. Step 1, buy. The ultra-wealthy buy an asset, or build a company, or inherit a fortune. As long as they don't sell, they owe no taxes. They keep their income as low as possible, since every dollar they earn can be taxed. Step 2, borrow. They borrow against their holdings, and the bank gives them a really good deal.
I'll loan you $10 million with only 3% interest. But if you take a $10 million salary from your company, you'll owe almost 37% to the IRS.
So the ultra-wealthy use loan money to fund their lifestyles. That's how a billionaire can live the most luxurious life imaginable while reporting little to no taxable income. Step 3, die. When they die, these lucky few often use complicated trusts and philanthropic foundations to avoid the estate tax. And their heirs can inherit stocks and other assets tax-free. A new generation is ultra-wealthy, and the cycle starts all over again.
How is this related to buying the ETFs, right? On the Robinhood. Now, when you buy the ETF, MSTY and LT, that is your asset. So Robinhood, when you reach $2,000 value of your account, now you're qualified to borrow against your asset, to borrow against your account. In other words, in average, like for example, you own $2,000 in Robinhood. They most likely they allow you to borrow $1,000 on top of that. That's what I'm doing right now. I put money there and then I borrow against it. I use at least 50% of that margin or loan they gave me to buy more shares. That's how I supersize my returns. Like
Okay.
for example, how do I get to a 1,500 share of Ulti? Because I'm using borrow cash margin. Like you have a house, right? You can borrow against it, take that equity, go buy another house. When it goes
Mhm.
up, borrow it again, and you just don't sell it because over time it will appreciate. So that's the key thing. Just don't sell your asset.
So then I'm
Mm-mm.
understanding, JB, you're basically giving us information of like, because yeah, let's be real. I mean, $20 or $10 a week ain't gonna cut it, because I'm only profiting about 10 cents, and you're showing me a way to where I can be able to leverage other ways to borrow money to invest
Right,
in and could triple to where I can get a bigger size check weekly.
right, exactly, precise. And that's how the wealthy play. Like for example, I own Bitcoin, right? I'm a proud owner of the 1% holding Bitcoin. I've been buying Bitcoin 2 years ago, since 2021. So I own like over one Bitcoin and a half. I sold it a little bit, but I regretted selling it. But now I'm looking at other banks. I can be able to store my Bitcoin and borrow against it because I know that thing's going to go up forever. So just like owning a property is going to go up forever. Why do I know that? Because the Federal Reserve print a lot of money. When they print money, the value of your asset goes up. Like for example, the stock market, when they print money, the S&P 500 goes up 10 to 12%. But Bitcoin goes up 8 times more than S&P 500. Your house will appreciate too over time because they keep printing money. That's why you never sell your asset, just borrow against it. And when
Mm.
you'll save money on tax. And what you do is you can invest it. Once you invest it and you earn income, then you can pay the interest off. And eventually you'll pay the loan back if you want.
You're trying to have me have a change of mindset to where understand to just find resources to borrow. Like you said, I have a house. Instead of selling it, leverage it to borrow money and put that into these ETF to get a turn of profit.
Yes,
Nice.
precise. And that's what people do, wealthy people do.
Yeah.
I want to share you a paper. It's entitled Why Invest? To Preserve Buying Power of Our Capital and Beat Inflation. Now, there's a chart that I snapped over here when Michael Saylor said few asset classes outperform monetary inflation. Now, if you see that line goes all the way across from, between 14% and 12%. So it says monetary inflation. From 2011 to this year, that's how much the monetary inflation is, 12%. But if you go back to history, since, the market started inflation, the average is 7%. Okay, what does this mean? Well, if you have $100 in your bank account, right? If the monetary inflation is 7%, by 10 years from now, that $100 value is only going to worth $50 in your bank account.
Yeah.
You won't see it. You won't see it drop. All you see is 100. But where you notice is when you go to the store, start buying eggs, buying like things, like you notice everything is expensive. So that's why you invest, is to beat the inflation and keep your purchasing power. This is my next question. This is a very important question to me. So if the wealthy are aware that printing money can have an adverse effects, why do they continue to support it?
Yeah.
Now, the answer lies in the fact that when they receive the influx of capital, they are able to invest it in strategically, thereby generating returns and growing their wealth. In other words, it bothers me. Okay, well, you know what? oh, why are these elite and wealthy people, doesn't care if they print money? It affects them too, right? Because they invested. Here's a table I put together. I snapped from another CEO fund. This is what they do. They put it in buy gold. They buy cars, other collectible items. That's why we see a lot of movies, like those rich people, they go into a art museum and, bid on it, buy art like, for example, Mona Lisa is worth a lot more, but they buy like unique, scarce, like, art. Fine art, stock market, real estate, bonds, and money. Money is like just the currency going around. So the whole world is $900 trillion or asset worth worldwide. So the wealthy invest. They print money. Like, for example, I make fun of your wife, Auntie Pelosi. Auntie Pelosi in the White House. She's the best option traders. She invests in the market. As soon as they print the money or whatever they approve a bill, she go and invest, like, in the stock market, and she makes millions, which is not fair.
Well,
because
Pelosi does that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, Google it. Pelosi is the best option trader right now.
Wow.
So that's what they do. So when they get their money, they invest and they make more money. So that's why I like to help all of us, or, our coconut heads, family and friends, to invest. You can buy property, which is great. Just invest. Buy gold, stock market. The reason why I'm, big on the stock market, because it's so simple. It's easy. You can start with $5, $10, $20, because nobody have 500,000 to buy a house, right? And once you invest it, you can borrow against your asset, just like the ETFs that you invest in. Like, I invest more than 10 grand, like in help of an investor. I have my own investor in my account, and I was able to apply for margin and borrow against it, and I dumped into more cash to buy more ETFs, and then supersize my return. And then the cycle goes on. As soon as you get to the point that you have a lot of return, like, dividends paying a lot, then you can start to use that money to buy more, to buy Bitcoin, to buy gold, to buy other things. That's where you want to get to. But for Bitcoin, since we have a couple of episodes about it, so we can, review it another time, but, you can go check out that episode that we talked about last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I wanted to share.
The Bitcoin one with JB, I will post that too on this link below. So that way, for those who are curious about Bitcoins, and again, listeners, if you have questions about certain things, you can always Google it. But if you want YOOS, especially JB, to inform us in it, drop it down below the link. I mean, comment. That's the only way we'll be able to know what you guys want as far as information. You want to go ahead and emphasize more about why you're going to cash out on your 401k.
Because the 401k was set up by, as I mentioned the last episode, the elites, right?
Yes.
Because they're using our money to help them to make their money. I hate to say this word or this phrase. When you loan money, you're using other people's money. When you go deposit money in the bank, like Chase Bank, they take that money and loan it out to others. That's how the system works. So for me, like I mentioned, my 3 reasons why the 401k, I was going to cash it out. Like next year, I'm going to cash everything out. Then I will invest some in the ETFs and use some to buy more Bitcoin. And after that, I'll just borrow against my assets. So basically, I'm creating my own 401k, my own retirement account, that I don't need those 401k pension. And you know what? This is just me, but you do whatever you want. If you want a 401k for tax rate, great, go for it. But this is what I do. I create my own retirement plan and create my own cash flow, buying assets. So, and that's what I'm doing right now. As I mentioned to you, living my fire lifestyle, Southeast Asia, making money work for me. So that's the thing. Make money work for us. Let's not work hard for money. Yeah, we can work hard for money, or make money work for you, for us, and then pursue your passion. Help families and give. So that's the bottom line.
And then how are you able to weigh the penalties and taxes against the potentially benefits when you're cashing out?
So in the end of the year, they'll Robinhood or any platform you use, they'll send you
Especially for your
a
401k.
form.
Because you're talking about, we're talking about 401k. Because, I'm thinking outside the box for the audience. Like some of us have already, well, not myself, but I do know people that
Right.
has been working in their field, in their job,
Right.
who has positioned themselves close to retirement, and that's all they were stacking up on was and leaning towards was their 401k. For those folks like that has been over 30 years, how are you able, and I'm not trying to say to convince them, but let's just
Right.
say put yourself in those shoes. The penalty that comes with it, because there is a potential benefit when you
Oh,
cash it
yes.
out early. Because I believe
Yeah,
it's about
there's
67 or 65. You got to reach a certain age to where you don't get penalized. So you're going to cash out
67.
yours early. Are you not worried about the penalties?
Oh, I'll just pay the penalty. I mean, because I'm still young. But for
Mhm.
those who, I'm not your financial advisor.
Yeah,
So for
your
those
own
who are close to
opinion.
retirement, this is my opinion. For those who are close to retirement, just leave it there. Just wait till retirement age. For those who are young, like in the 30s, 40, I think it's best you start your own retirement account or start your own investing journey or your own investing platform and learn how to buy assets and borrow against it.
Now, are you going to dump it all into the ETFs when you cash out?
Most likely,
Hmm.
yeah, most likely. I mean, because like I share with you, I already got all my original. Well, next month will be I'll receive all my original investments in it. So whatever extra cash is, I will use to buy more Bitcoin. Actually, I'm still buying Bitcoin every month because, believe it or not, Bitcoin outperform every single asset that is created or made in this whole entire history of the market, and I believe it will continue. So let's go back to Dave Ramsey retirement calculator. Let's keep it simple. 28, right? That's 10 years, right?
Hmm.
Let's keep it simple. 10 years. 18, 10 years from now, he or she will put 28, right?
Hmm.
And you will contribute. How much would you contribute monthly? $100. And let's use Bitcoin, for example. Do you remember what I said? Or ChatGPT, Bitcoin average return since inception. So 200%. That's crazy, if you ask me. So 10 years from now, 28, you're only going to contribute $100 a month. Bitcoin average 200% per year.
And then
It's
you're a
crazy.
billionaire.
Here's a billionaire. Let's not use 200%, right? I know that's according to statistically or data, statistic and data, right? Let's use 100%. That's still crazy. 10 years from now, 17 million.
And what is this for, though?
So this is compound interest. That's the one that we've been talking about our last episode.
Okay, okay.
Never put your money out. You just in other words, if you start now and buy Bitcoin, $100 a month, 10 years from now, most likely you'll be a millionaire.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that because I've always heard like Guy So Smooth and Chief Lot, shout out to y'all, we fobs oops. And I'm just like, I still never comprehend the compound and right there
Right.
in the image visually.
Right. The compound interest is very important. Compound, according to Einstein, is the eighth wonder of the world. So, and this is a calculator to help you. So it's the same strategy if you put in S&P 500. You remember we talked about S&P 500?
Hmm.
And if you notice in the bottom of this last question, it says, this is the return your investment will generate over time. Historically, in the 30-year return, S&P 500 has been roughly 10 to 12 years. So if you want to play it safe, you can invest in the S&P 500 or ticker symbol SPY or ticker symbol BOO, BOO. So average 12%. So let's do that. Let's do 12%. 10 years from now, $100, you'll make 23,000.
That's
You
crazy.
contribute 12,000 total in 10 years, and your growth is plus 11,000. So our total is 23,000. And that's why people want to invest long term. Compound interest over time, over years, it will appreciate and you'll be wealthy. And this is the traditional investing in S&P 500. But Bitcoin outperforms every single asset. And as according to data, it's 200%, which is crazy. But I believe, according to Michael Saylor, it will come down to 50% eventually the next 5 years. Well, let's do 50%. I mean, that's still pretty good, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's still good, man.
But I think it'll be 100% though. The next 10 years, next 5 to 10 years.
If you're investing in Bitcoin.
Right. If you buy Bitcoin every month, just buy and stack it. Dollar cost average, stack buying.
Let me share my screen real quick and walk me through how to, because remember, I have it in the stocks instead of the cash, the settings
Oh, you mean Robinhood?
for Robinhood. Yep.
So you see right there, you said buy Tesla, and you notice that feature buy in. Okay, that's it. So you can buy it in shares or dollars.
And then you said it's always good to buy it in dollars. If you, I mean, if you do have the whole money to buy the actual share, go right ahead.
Right, right.
But
Go
what
right
you're
ahead.
saying is for like for just for example for teachable moments, what is Bitcoin's name? Bitcoin,
Yeah, right
BTC.
there, Bitcoin. That's right.
So, and if I wanted to get that, what happened here?
Oh, you had to fund my account later. Yeah, press that. Okay, you might have to sign some papers, review, agree to it, crypto. Yeah, just accept it.
There we
So
go.
right there. Oh, there you go. I think it's already set up in
In
USD.
dollars.
So you just buy, yeah, just $5 or $2 or
But what for because you're saying buy 100 a month. Like if you,
right,
for
buy 100.
example, so if I was to do 100 a month, then, or if you're somebody like me who gets paid weekly, that's $25 a week for
That's
every.
right.
There you go.
And personally, I think if you buy weekly, it's better to help to track the average. Like if Bitcoin goes down, you track it down too. You know, you buy it lower. If it goes up, you buy it higher. So if you buy weekly, $25, 10 years from now, you'll be a millionaire. That's all I gotta say. Well, there's no guarantee to it, but according to data, you'll be a millionaire. Eventually, so I'm researching banks and platforms you can loan against your Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin is $1 million or 200,000, then you can loan against it. Take like 10% or 20% of it and use to invest in the stock market, ETFs. So you can make, more income and pay off the interest. So that's how you play this game.
And that's for us who wants to follow the blueprint of wealthy people.
Wealthy
Because I
people.
mean, if you are someone like myself who is sick and tired of working for corporates and getting a paycheck, I mean, why not? Why can't we just do it too, Why can't we do it? They're
Yeah,
borrowing it. Why can't we
we
borrow?
yeah, we can do it. So the King of England, Queen of England, that's what they do. They own a lot of banks. They own properties. They never sell them. They just borrowed against it. And
Leverage.
then they make more, they leverage it. And then they, like that video said, they write out a trust, so if you die, you just give it to your kids and your kids will continue the process.
I'm blown away by how information, and I'm sure we're not the only platform that's talking about this. It's in human nature where people are just comfortable where they're at. Because let's be honest, if I was making 300,000 in my regular career job, I probably would not be interested in this conversation because
That's
I'm
right.
already enchained, bondage by, and blinded by just 300,000 a year, not
Right.
thinking of opportunities like this. But for people like myself and Jake Bid, who has never experienced of having a job where I get 300,000 a year, we're hungry, you know? And just to see
Yeah,
the data doesn't lie, man. You already showed it on the previous episode on your end of what you're at.
it doesn't.
It's not lying, man.
Like you said, the doctor experience, right? If you're making 300,000. My wife, uncle owns a business, hospitality. And I think he makes over 1 million, have all his cars, but he never got into investing. I always ask him, hey, do you invest? Like, oh, I have no idea how it goes, but I'm not worried about it. It's like, all right. But right now, the company is struggling and he lost his 2 houses and everything. So then I started listening to a lot of business owner. The best wise decision for them is whatever money they made out of their company, they start investing in the market. And now they're more wealthier because they make wise decision to put it in the market and buy asset. But for my account, yeah, sure, I'll show. Actually, I have an investor.
And while you're doing that, man, Basic Big is saying, JBid is saying, this is what happens when you're being complacent, when you're comfortable with what you have, which I experienced that 5 years ago, when we were in South Korea, right? Making great money and just blowing it away. Like, I think back to that time when I was making great money and just, oh man, what I would do is just wish I knew what I know now to invest instead of just throwing money away. Because there wasn't nothing better in life when you're swiping your credit card and knowing that your check comes in, you're just gonna pay that whole lump sum of whatever it is, thousands and
Right.
thousands of dollars. And now, fast forward 5 years later, I'm no longer in that position and don't have the access, the extra money to do what we found here as investing into ETFs to be able to make a paycheck to
Right.
making that free money coming in weekly, man.
So I have this account because I was able to convince a client of mine to invest. My net worth of the account is actually 87,496.
Mm.
So you see the margin used, that's the loan view on the bottom. I margin 40,000.
So if you
This is
margin
the
used, what is equity? Is
uh
that how much you gain back?
so that's how much basically the net worth or my equity or cash in the account. Like it shows 46,000, like what you
Mm.
see. So basically when I invested initially I started with 36,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now my account grew to 46. So now my net equity is 46,886.
But you basically profit 16,000,
Yes.
or I mean,
So
I'm
it went
sorry,
up, it grew.
yeah, it grew
Uh
by 16,000.
10,000 actually.
Yeah,
36
10,000.
plus 46, 10,000. Yeah, a little bit over. So yes. So that's my net worth. So I was
Mm-hmm.
able to margin against this 46,000, 40,000. But don't do what I do because I know how to go about it and avoid margin calls. One thing you want to keep an eye on when you have an account is this. You see this? Buying
Mm-hmm.
power. So this is what we were talking. I was trying to talk to you about it. It says 25,000 buying power, but you have to remember this is all margin or loan. What you
Mm.
want to do is keep an eye about this actually low risk margin status. So my buffer is 24%. So I don't like that. I want to stay above 40%,
Why is the
because the
buffer
market
margin matter?
because the market goes up and down. So that means I have 11,000. Say if the market crash. So if it goes down 25%, I get a margin call. So basically, what is a margin call? The bill collector. They say, hey, you know what? You went down your account, you need to pay this amount or deposit more money. That's all I say. Well, it's easy to deal with that. You just sell some shares. I can sell 500 shares of, Misty, then I'm covered. But what
Mm.
I recommend is just stay above 40%, or use 50% of the margin. Just keep an eye on this low risk. You want to leave enough for buffer. So when the market goes down, you're covered. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. But how are you able to know what? I guess the question is now, how much money do you think you like? If I put in $10, does that mean you're
Uh-huh.
saying to put in an extra $5 as a buffer money?
No, you don't need to put anything in there. You're already borrowing against from your account. So, as for example, let me use $2,000 because that's how Robinhood is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they will loan you average another thousand. So basically, your account, the total net worth is 3,000. Do you remember your net equity is 2,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Robinhood will give you an extra thousand on top of your 2,000. Now your account is 3,000.
Okay. I'm
So
following.
what you want to do is you don't want to use up all that thousand. Just use 500, and you want to keep an eye on this margin status.
I
If you
understand
if
that.
you're on the green, if you're in the green, you're good, And then if you're like, it will tell you, oh, you're in the red, you're in the risk of margin call.
Mm-hmm.
So margin call, you don't want to get to that point because basically a bill call like, hey, you need to pay this amount. They just want to balance your account.
Have you ever experienced being in the red?
Yes, margin call. I did a couple of times. So when you get a margin call, it asks you, oh, you know what? Oh, to deposit more money. So a lot of people get scared of margin. Uh, Me, I don't, because they just ask for the value, the difference between your net equity and margin or the loan.
What have you done to leverage it? Have you ever sold any of your shares, or you just add more money
Yes,
into it?
I just sell shares.
Okay.
That's all it is. So if it says, let's say 2,000 and I margin over 1,000, like 1,200, and Robin, hey, you know what? You need to pay $200 more because you went over the margin. All right, I'll just go to Misty. I'll sell, what do you call it? Go here. I'll say, I owe 200. That's fine. Let me see. How many shares? Let me sell 3 shares or 30 shares. There you go. Now 900 will go back to the account and then we'll cover the margin.
Because you're gaining money off of it, so it's better to do sell shares than paying out of cash to
That's
add shares.
right.
Following.
That's right. It's not our money. It's the
Yeah.
bank's money, basically. It's Robinhood's money. Oh, if they want their money, just give the money back. I'm just using the money to make more money. You see, this is how the game is played. It's not my money. It's their money.
Drop a final for J
Yeah.
Bag.
Yeah. And then if you're making 10,000 and they want interest of $200, hey, bro, if you make 1,000, 200 is nothing to pay the interest, and you
Yeah.
keep the 800,
You're
and
still
then
adding
you're
up.
you're just using their money, or I hate to use this phrase, other people's money, because
And that's the
realistically,
truth.
that's the truth. Yeah.
Ask yourself, coconuts, which side of the playing field do you want to be at? Because I know for myself and J Ben, we want to be on the winning side. So to each its own.
And again, I'm not your financial advisor. There's risk to everything. But what I do encourage is to study the market. There's many books out there, YouTube. You can go to work and put on the earpiece and listen to Michael Saylor, listen to stock traders, and listen to ETFs. You know, what is an ETF? Dividends. And we have the technology to do it. Let's go to work, put on the earpiece. So if you want to learn about Bitcoin, listen to Michael Saylor. He breaks it down. I mean, but the book, if you want to understand Bitcoin Standard, that's a book that got me.
What other books or authors that you read that help you get
Um,
information?
Intelligent Investor for beginners, but the best way to research is YouTube and what do you call it, ChatGPT, bro.
I know, man. All these apps right
Mhm.
here, I've been trying to see if I can get affiliated with them instead of trying to just promote them for free, baby, because that's what I'm learning as why Oops goes. At the moment,
Right.
ChatGPT is not having affiliated stuff yet because they don't need it.
Mm,
Jeff Bezos.
mm.
Fuck you, Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see all those guys? Yeah, all those guys, they borrow against their asset. All of them. You can look it up. Apple, Microsoft, they all do, man. That's crazy. Jeff Bezos, yep. That's what they do, bro. Mm.
And you can either get mad and irritated with them, or you can get on this journey or ride the wave with us. Because mark my word, man,
Yes, sir.
in a few years, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, JBID, YOOS will be a corporation of their own. Investors and just, motivational speakers. Sky's the limit, man. But if
Hey, I'll let you run with it, bro. I mean, by
yeah,
that time I've disappeared.
for real, you be
But you can run
disappearing,
with
but
it.
I'll be the one that'll be like, yeah, man, yada
Yeah,
yada this,
yeah,
yada
yeah.
yada
That's
that.
all you. There
It's
you
like I
go.
told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. And we have the data to
All right.
back it up. Those, if you enjoy this content, again, like I said, man, always tune in. We are airing YOOS podcasts every week, to end the year. We got some great, amazing entrepreneurs, content creators that'll be coming to the show the end of the year and next year, man. So stay tuned. If you enjoy this content and want to support the YOOS, you see the merch I'm merching that I got on, the hat with the
There you
QR
go.
code. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to who brought this out? Us Libre. Shout out to Us Libre with the idea. Shout out to my man Fua Lekalu for the design of the YOOS, and my niece out there, Fuyava, for designing the Fue. So YOOS, this is what we do. If you enjoy, you can check out our website at www.yoos.com. More J Big comes when we're available, when he is available. But you can catch the USO on our. We have created designated playlists of J Bid on our YouTube channel at YOOS. Until then, man, stay
Next time,
hungry,
Uzo.
stay blessed, y'all. I'm YOOS.
Peace out.
Question marks fly. He sits with the gaze and meets the sky, wearing the weight of wisdom's crown. Listens to beats that never drown. With a cap that holds the unknown, in the spotlight, yet alone. A silent voice, a humble king. In his picture, let the story sing.